If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby. Vegas. It is the Even Money Podcast. We are, of course, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. You know that. Thankfully, enabled me to get a chance to call some of these games. I got the Ravens at the Browns Sunday for CBS, which should be awesome. Please check me out on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. It's always nice to see what the press box food is like for these teams and these stadiums that we go to. As well, I might mention the beer that I have, typically on a Friday night if I'm doing an NFL game on Sunday. Not so much on Saturday. Check me out at Ross Tucker NFL. We are at Ross Tucker Pod. Love those of you that check us out, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. My buddy Chuck, who listens to the show, last week there was an issue where the show didn't post right away, Steve. And he's like, where is it? I listen to it at noon religiously. Where is it? I listen to it at noon. I'm like, you can watch it on YouTube. He's like, what? I didn't know you could watch it. I say it every week, Chuck. Every week I say youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. The Steve I mentioned is the only 2-time winner of the Super Contest over at the Westgate. And by the way, even like the last couple of years, what he's been able to do at Circa and other places, some of these other contests, it's documented, it's impressive. Check him out on social media at Fezzik Sports. And you can always get all of our bets in black and white. We have this Australian sensation, Sean Grady, who does all the grades with teasers and, totals. It's a beautiful spreadsheet. And all you have to do is become a Tuckheads member of our private Patreon, patreon.com/RT Media. Then you become a Tuckheads member. You get access to our private Slack channel where Grades posts that stuff. There's a whole community of people that chat about all of our shows, which is pretty cool. So welcome to the family, Danny Egbert, Brendan Van Hook, David Bullock. Great to have you guys aboard, patreon.com/RT Media. Good time to get on board, Steve, because we had a really nice week and we needed it. I was up 9 units for the week, which makes me dead even now year to date. You were up 7 units for the week, Steve, on this show, which now has you down 8.5 units. And you know what, Steve? It was the teasers. It was the teasers. We dominated on the teasers. And I'll just say that right now, that was our crowning moment. Every week, we have one crowning moment. For us, it was the teasers. Crowning moments presented by DraftKings. Submit your winning bets for a chance to be featured. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Here's our deal on teasers this week, Steve. All of them came through except for the Saints. You only paired the Saints with the Steelers. So you lost 2 units there, but you got 2 units, Steve, on Lions Steelers, Bills Steelers, Commanders Steelers, Chiefs Steelers. Now, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teaser legs. I did 1 unit each. We didn't know about Rashid Shaheed's injury. The Saints didn't come through, but the other 7 did. So I was up 14 units on my teaser legs. Would have been 28 units, Steve, if it weren't for the Saints and Shaheed and everything. But still up 14 units. Steve, this is why we do the Wong teasers.
Exactly right. And those who want more information, we say it most weeks. Sharp Sports Betting by Stanford Wong lays out why you only play Wong teasers. So do check out that book by Stanford Wong.
Kills me when people complain. I see the YouTube comments or every once in a while on social media, way too many teasers. Hey guys, we're trying to make money for you. We're trying to win for you. This is the way to win. It's one of the ways. All right, we'll get into it. Broncos Saints. You actually had 2 units, Steve, on the Saints, getting a couple points because you thought, who are the Broncos to be the favorites on the road? Obviously, it was just kind of a disaster for the Saints with the Sean Payton stuff and the injuries. It should be noted, the Saints were much more beat up on game time Thursday night than we realized when we did the show Tuesday morning. Patriots, Jags. I put a unit on the Patriots getting 5.5. They were up 10-0 and still didn't cover that spread. Lions, Vikings. We each had the Lions as a teaser leg. That came through. Obviously, they won outright. You also had the over for 1 unit, Steve, and that hit. Texans, Packers. We had the Texans as a teaser leg. That came through. Eagles, Giants. Boy, I misread that one, and I watch every snap of every Eagles game. Eagles blew them out. I thought the Giants would hang. I like the Giants getting the 3.5 points, but the Giants couldn't do anything, and the Eagles got enough big plays to win. Bengals, Browns, just a lean to the Bengals, laying the 4.5. That came through. Seahawks, Falcons. Boy, we both leaned to laying the 2.5 with the Falcons. I'm glad that's all it was, Steve, because they blew out the Falcons. That was surprising. Titans, Bills. Of course, we had the Bills as a teaser leg. They came through. Dolphins, Colts, nothing. Panthers, Commanders. Now this one hurt. This was a best bet, Steve, on the over for us. 52. Well, first of all, Jaden Daniels gets hurt. That didn't help. But the Commanders still scored 40 points, Steve. 40 points. Andy Dalton and the Panthers let us down 7 points against that Commanders defense, Steve.
Yeah, shocking. And, more shocking, Carolina gets down and they know they're done. So they just keep running, Hubbard for 2 yards all game long. It's going to be a long, long year for Carolina.
Brutal. Raiders, Rams. Interestingly, we both leaned to the Raiders getting the 5.5. Antonio Pierce must have known that when he kicked that field goal late, down by 8 to make it a 5-point game. That helped us cover our lean. Niners, Chiefs. We had the Chiefs as a teaser leg. They won the game outright. Jets, Steelers. Steve, you went in big on the Steelers last week. You went in big. And that was before the Devontae Adams trade and before the Russell Wilson news. And the line totally flipped. And we still crushed it, Steve.
Well, my handicap was the situational spot being terrible for the Jets, the emotional roller coaster of going to London and losing and firing the coach and picking up, new players, but then changing the quarterback to what we thought was the worser choice. I think we've reevaluated that. I do want to give Ross, I want to give you accolades because in a world where to become an announcer, of course, you have to go to announcer school and they have to teach you that field goals are good and punting is good and going for it is bad. And you're one of the few announcers out there that says, absolutely, you got to go for it. And the Raiders, under 3 minutes to go, 4th and 9, it's like you want to throttle these coaches and explain, what you do, you might do a lot of things well. This is not one of them. Just do what your game manager tells you to do. But apparently the Raiders have one guy that's the game manager, and for whatever reason, he was out that Sunday. Go figure.
So, wrapping up, we had Monday night, Ravens, Bucks. I had 2 units on the Bucks getting 3.5. That was looking good. They were up 10-0. The Mike Evans injury killed me and the Baker interceptions. But we had a best bet, Steve, on the over. I had 2 units on it. You had 3. That came through. That crushed. The total was 48, ended up 72, 41-31. And then Cardinals, Chargers. I had the Cardinals as a teaser leg. And you had the over for 1 unit. Didn't get there on the 44. So we were 5-2 on our best bets. which is great. Makes us 24 and 23 on our best bets. So we're above 500 there on the best bets. And again, I mentioned where we are at for the season. We move onward and upward, Steve, to week 8 in the NFL. Steve, before we get to our bets, how about this best bet? 72 months, 0% interest, up to $1,500 off. You're a math guy. You know how ridiculous that is, the offer we're getting just for our listeners at westshorehome.com/Ross. If you've ever even considered getting new showers or bathtubs or full bath remodels or new doors or new windows, now is the time to do it. No interest until 2030? Are you kidding me? That's 2 presidents from now. Get the remodeling project you've always been dreaming of. Now is the time. 0% interest for 6 full years is absolutely ridiculous. Plus, you can check out my house. You can see the front door of my house. You can see the showers. westshorehome.com/Ross. westshorehome.com/Ross. After you do it, you'll be able to celebrate by drinking some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends, probably more your family. Your wife will be so happy, your kids. Living life to the power of we. Always enjoy Labatt Blue Light responsibly. It's delicious beer made by Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Yep, let's do it. And we start out Thursday night, Minnesota at the Rams, and Vikings laying 3.5, Ross. This was just the showdown for the Vikings against the Lions. Now it's a short week. Give me the Rams plus 3.5, 2 units.
Totally agree. 2 units on the Rams. They're getting Cooper Kupp back. Thursday night game. This is the mentor against the protege. Love the Rams in this spot at home. Rams plus 3.5. It is a best bet. Next up, the Titans are in Detroit. The Lions just lost Jameson Williams for 2 games. The Lions are laying 10.5. Totals 45, Steve.
So I make it 11.5. I think that, Detroit's just a dead not over team all the way around, especially now with, losing their pass rusher. I'm going to go over 45, 2 units.
I can't do it because I just don't know what to expect from the Titans offensively any point. And I do think the Titans defense is actually pretty good. And now no Jameson Williams for the Lions. I'm tempted to take the Titans plus the 10.5 because I love the number of getting the 10.5, but I just feel like I will be disappointed. So, but they're also kind of coming off of that emotional big win. All right, I'm doing 10 Titans plus the 10.5, but only 1 unit. Only 1 unit on the Titans plus the 10.5. What about the Packers laying 4.5 against the Jags? Totals 49.5, Steve.
So I only make it 3.5, and Jacksonville is playing for their coach's life still. I do think they're playing better. They had the week in London. Hopefully the team comes together. So in many ways, this is their 3rd straight home game in some aspects. I'll take Jacksonville for just 1 unit plus the 4.5.
Got it. I can't do it. Betting on Jacksonville is bad for my health. Their games are tough to watch. I'm going to pass there. I would certainly lean to the Jaguars in that one. Colts, Texans. The Colts are getting 6 on the road in Houston, Steve.
Yeah, I make the game 5.5, but I can't do it. The Colts win was as phony can be against Miami. Houston's offense did not look good at all against Green Bay, so I'll lean Colts, but I'm going to pass.
It's just a lean to me for the Colts as well. I've got major concerns about Anthony Richardson at this point. They're in a tough spot, where the guys know that Flacco gives them a better chance to win, but what are they going to do about it? They need to find out if Richardson can get better. Eagles, Bengals, Steve, totals 47.5. The Eagles are getting 2.5.
They were getting 3, and now that it's 2.5, I got to pivot because I was going to play the Eagles. I had the Eagles the better team. So obviously I got to get at the Eagles in some way. So Eagle, I'm going to wheel my teasers this week. Eagles will be the first teaser I'll be using.
Totally agree. I have 3 teasers this week. It's the Eagles up to 8.5. It's Washington up to 8.5. And I guess Tampa Bay, it looks like TD on my thing. Tampa Bay, I guess, is up to, on my sheet. Yeah, Tampa Bay up to 8.5. Geez, good handwriting, Ross. Yeah, I love the Eagles as a teaser leg as well. That's the best bet. What about the Ravens? The game I'm calling, Steve, okay? It's the Ravens in Cleveland off a Monday night game. I'm thinking we're going to get Jameis Winston. The total is 44.5. The Ravens are laying 11.5, Steve.
All right, I'm worried about the chemistry between the fans and the team and the like, but you know what? This is betting 101. I've got an upgraded quarterback, significant upgraded quarterback with Jameis, and my power ratings, I got Baltimore being an awesome team, but I still only have the game at 10. So I'm going to take Cleveland plus the 11.5, 2 units.
Totally agree. It's another best bet. Maybe this is wishful thinking because I'm calling the game and I hope it's a close game. But I think Jameis Winston, you know how you always say this, Steve? You know who isn't happy that Jameis Winston's starting at quarterback? The Ravens. That's who's not happy that he's starting a quarterback. They would much prefer it be Watson or DTR because they know what Jameis can do. And the Ravens have some issues in that secondary. Now Marlon Humphrey got hurt last night after his 2 picks. I like the Browns getting the 11.5 quite a bit. I think on some level, Winston getting hurt, Deshaun Watson getting hurt, I don't want to say it's a sigh of relief, but it lets them move on from that untenable situation. That is a best bet that I love. Cleveland plus 11.5, 2 units. What about the Jets and the Patriots? The Jets are laying 7 on the road. Totals 41.5, Steve.
So I actually make it a little bit higher, but the Jets have been through the ringer so much. I don't know how they're going to perform in this game. I'm just going to lean to some Jets teasers, but it's 7, not 7.5. No play for me.
Yeah, I would lean to the Jets. The Patriots are really bad. I mean, they are really, really bad. And the crazy thing is it's not really Drake May. It's like the other guys around him. Drake May is like the least of their concerns right now. I'll just lean to the Jets laying the 7. What about the Cardinals getting 3 points in Miami? Short week on the road, totals 47.5. The Dolphins appear to be getting Tua Tagovailoa back, Steve.
Yeah, and I would expect he'd probably be pretty good. And if he is, then Miami's a little bit cheap. But, he'll be rusty, uncertainty. I'll pass the game.
What I don't like about the Cardinals is that they've kind of been a yo-yo. Up one week and good, bad the next week, back and forth. But I agree with you. I think there's going to be some rust there from Tua, and I'm thinking maybe the Cardinals for once won't be on the yo-yo. Just 1 unit, Arizona plus 3. Although I feel like when people know for sure that Tua will be playing, that'll go up to 3.5, Steve. And that way I would like it a lot more. You've taught me that. All right. Falcons, Bucks. It's in Tampa. The Falcons are the favorites, laying 2.5. I'm assuming because of these injuries for the Bucks. Total, Steve, is 47.5.
So I'm going to get at Tampa, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to be cool. Remember, these home underdogs have done terribly the last 2 weeks. So there's a lot of pressure in the marketplace. The public loves betting the road favorites. And the narrative is going to be, both of the Tampa wide receivers are so critical to the team and they're both injured. So I'm not going to invest in Tampa yet because I think we might see a +3. So I'll wait for now. Although obviously right now it qualifies as a teaser leg, but I'm not going to use them yet.
I am using them as a teaser leg. Yes, I don't think they'll have Mike Evans or Godwin, but I think Baker and that running game is good enough that they will be able to figure out a way to keep that game close. Tampa Bay +8.5 teaser leg. The Bills are laying 3 on the road, Steve, against the Seahawks. By the way, my teaser leg's all 2 units this week.
My teaser legs will be 2 units as well. I've got nothing on this Bills Seahawks game. I make it 3. I pass.
Yeah, I would maybe, if anything, just lean to Seattle getting the 3 at home. They look pretty good against Atlanta. Total 47.5, by the way. Saints are getting 7 on the road against the Chargers. Totals 39.5.
So I was almost going to break from my rules and tease the Chargers from 7 down to 1. However, I call it a 10-6 game. You've got the Saints with the extra rest. You got the Chargers on Monday Night Football. I don't want to go against that. I just will lean to Chargers.
Yeah, I would lean to the Chargers as well. Saints are just in a bad way right now. What about the Chiefs laying 9.5 on the road in Vegas? Looks like it'll be Gardner Minshew at quarterback again. Aiden O'Connell's out for a month or more. Total is 42, Steve.
So I make it 9. I will go ahead and pass. Remember, the Raiders actually won an Arrowhead a few years back, and then they circumnavigated the stadium at Arrowhead like they were Magellan, celebrating with the bus ride after, and the Chiefs remember that. The Chiefs aren't nearly as good as they're not as good as they were the last 2 years, but they're still the best team in the NFL. I pass.
Yeah, I would like it more at 10 or 10.5, but I'm putting a unit on the Raiders, 9.5, just 1 unit. They're at home, and Minshew gives them a much better chance to win than Aiden O'Connell did. Much better. Plus, the Chiefs coming off that big win over the Niners. Give me the Raiders +9.5, only 1 unit. What about the Panthers? They're getting 8 in Denver. Totals 43.5, Steve.
Denver should win the game. That means it's a slam dunk Wong teaser. Tease Denver from 8 down to 2. That's another teaser I'll be using.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Denver loses that game with their defense. I didn't see that teaser leg earlier for some reason. Some of these lines, I think that line might have moved a little bit. I love Denver -2 as a teaser leg. Another best bet teaser leg for me and Steve. What about this game, Steve? It's the Bears and the Commanders. Bears are laying 2.5. Totals 44. We don't know if Jaden Daniels is playing or not. I don't care. Either way, I'm teasing the Commanders up to 8.5. Mariota looked pretty good in Kingsbury's offense. The Bears haven't played anybody as good as the Commanders. I'll use the Commanders as a teaser leg.
I will as well. And this is a case where I'm not sure this line's going to go against us because I'm not certain Daniels isn't going to play. And if he doesn't, it'll go up to 3. But if he does, then it's going to flip and Washington's going to become the favorite. I mean, it's unlikely he plays, but he could. Let's go ahead and include Washington. They're in my teasers as well.
Got it. All right. What about the Cowboys, Niners, Sunday night? The Cowboys are getting 4.5 on the road. Totals 47. Niners got more beat up. Brandon Ayuk done for the year.
Yeah, and I make it 4.5 after the downgrade to the Niners. That matches the number, so I got to be on the sideline.
I'll just lean to the Cowboys here. That's all it is a lean. They still have some uncertainty as to who's playing, like Micah Parsons for them. And I just keep thinking the Niners are better than this. The Niners are better than this. I don't know, Steve. Maybe that's just because of past years, but they can't keep doing this. What about Giants, Steelers? The Giants are getting 6 on the road. The total's 36.5.
This game's a head scratcher to me. I don't understand the line. Maybe I'm just higher on the Steelers. I didn't understand the line against the Jets with the Steelers. The Giants are bad. I mean, they're like bottom 5 in the NFL bad, and the Steelers are an above average team. And now we found out we think Russell Wilson can play, right? So how are the Giants going to get past 14 against that awesome Steeler defense? Give me the favorite. I'll take the Steelers minus the 6.2 units.
I'm with you on that. I'm always nervous laying that many points, but man, and maybe the Giants will play better. I don't know, but I'm with you on that. I like the Steelers minus 6.2 units as well. That is another best bet. So we have a bunch of best bets this week, Steve. And on the teaser legs, I have Philly, Washington, Denver, Tampa. You have all of those except for Tampa, right? You're waiting on Tampa.
That's right.
Got it. Love it. Steve, let's get to a question from a listener here in a second. But before we do, every listener or people checking us out on YouTube, you need to get the Game Time app on your phone. I like to look at the tickets for the game I'm doing. There are amazing seats for this Ravens and Browns game on Sunday that are very affordable. First of all, you can get in for $37, but you can get like really nice seats for less than $200. 50-yard line, like 20 rows up to see one of the best teams in football in the Ravens. Plus, I think Jameis is going to give us a game. Love the panoramic view from the seat and the lowest price guarantee, plus the Game Time picks where they give you their best picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MONEY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code MONEY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time! Absolutely no I in football, and Smirnoff knows that. It's a we thing. We experience it together. Tailgates, watching at a friend's house. Smirnoff's the world's #1 vodka, official vodka partner in the NFL, and they're giving fans in select areas of the country a chance to win the ultimate game day experience, from tickets to sideline passes and so much more. Just head to WeDoGameDays.com until November 15th to enter for your chance to win. Smirnoff, We Do Game Days. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. 21 plus. End 11/15/24. See rules at website for participating area and other important details. Sponsored by Diageo Americas Incorporated, New York, New York. Email question. Can we prove that teasers hit at a higher rate in weeks 5 through 14 than in weeks 1 to 4 or 15 to 18? Theory being that games land in the teaser range more often in the middle of the season, when teams and books have at least a month of tape and every team's still trying to win the game. From Eric in Denver.
Yes, weeks 5 on. I'm not sure about the final 4 weeks of the season. That's a great question by Eric, because I really need to look into, do you have some teams that might quit at the very end of the year, not put in a full effort? Because obviously that's going to cause havoc to your distributions of your final scores. I'll look into the late in the year teaser performance.
Good question, Eric. I love it. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.